Hey guys, my name is Nibiri and this is the second episode of Synth Saturday. For this episode we're going to be making some top leads for euphoric hardstyle and we're going to be using Silent for that. So I'm going to make two top leads today, one based on a saw waveform and one based on a square waveform. Of course you can blend the two, but these are two basic ones that I just wanted to show you. I wanted to share with you my mindset, what I'm doing when I'm making certain decisions. And for this melody, I have some slide notes over here. And to get that slide note in silent as well, you're just gonna put the portamento up so it will move in between the notes instead of play them over each other. And put mono legato on as well. So that's the melody we're going to be working with. So first we're going to do the sol top lead, and after that we're going to do the square one. And I like my top leads to be most of it be mono, and that's because it's going to carry the melody the best. So we're going to put this on a band pass and move that band pass up a little bit and then distort it. Distort it all the way and you'll get some gritty kind of tones that we want for hardstyle leads. And then I'm just gonna look with the filter where it's gonna sound nice and sound like a good tone that I want for the lead. I think this will work, and I'm gonna put a little pitch envelope on there to make each note have a little upward pitch. I think that works. Now what we can do is put the drive up a little bit, make it sound a little bit more distorted. But now it's just one pure tone, and for hardstyle we want it to be screamy as well. And to make it a little bit more screamy, we're not going to use the detune and introduce some voices, because that's going to make it stereo. And then when you put it in mono, it's just going to fade away entirely. I'm just going to do it to show you. So let's say I put this on 3 voices and put the detune up halfway. And yeah, just have a listen. It's sounding real weird right now, real stereo. And then when you put it in mono, it's gonna have that little bit of an impurity that you hear, like it's a detuned layer that's just put back in mono. And so the thing that we want to do is we're gonna keep this on one voice, and we're gonna detune it by using an LFO. What this does is just gonna play with the pitch, but it's gonna stay one oscillator, so that will keep it in mono, but it will be sounding detuned. And so this sounds a little bit more moving, and also when we put it to mono, it just sounds the same because it's in mono completely. Now this sounds a little bit too sweet, and I'm just gonna add another LFO on there to make it sound a little bit more dirty. So as you hear right now, I was just playing a little bit with the filter, and that filter position is going to change the entire sound of that top lead. Over here we had a little bit, it's still sounding thin and it's a little bit too friendly. But if we were to move it a little bit down, then it's actually going to sound screamy and a little bit more in your face. And we just want to find that balance between where it sounds too dirty and where it sounds just right. And I'm going to put the resonance up as well. This is just going to peak up that curve a little bit. So if we have a band pass over here, show you, it's just going to make it a little bit more peaking up like that. And because you do that before the distortion, it's just going to make the lead scream a lot more. So the trick with the LFOs is to just make it detuned enough, but don't make it sound it just sounds wrong on its own. So we're just gonna play with this the amount a little bit, and the amount will just make sure that we have the detuned sound in there, but not too much. If you're wondering what that key track does, it makes sure that the cutoff, the filter, follows the exact notes that you're playing. We can try, maybe see if it works. I think this sounds nice. And the amount that you put the key track up is the amount that it's actually going to follow the notes of the MIDI. So for the basics, I'm just going to keep this on one oscillator, and yeah, this is it for the Sol version. Now I've opened up a new silent, and now we're gonna get going with that square version. So let's just start a square, like the square to start off with. Again, put the portamento and monologato up. And we're just gonna make this square sound distorted and dirty. So right now it's just that right pure tone that we can then start to play with again. Just like we did with the Sol version. So this sounds really stable, and now with that pitch, we're just gonna make it dirty and moving again. So last time we used a sine and a sample and hold, but maybe we're gonna do something else right now. Just be creative. Let's try a Sol waveform for this LFO. In the end, it's not what sounds good in general, it's also what sounds good to you, because that will define yourself as an artist. So let's just keep that Sol wave on here, and let's maybe try something else over here to get two LFOs working together again. So now I'm just going to show you how I normally EQ these type of leads, and normally I would put stuff behind it as well, but for now we're just going to keep it on these two layers, and then you can practice this on your own. And if we put it back to the Sol lead, we're going to start with EQ the Sol lead. And over here we're just paying attention, like you can also see it, but you can also hear it when you practice long enough. That the body of the sound is over here. Don't make this low cut be over here, because then you're losing the entire body of your sound. Try to keep it somewhere where that lower note, which is over here in this case, just still has the room in the EQ and doesn't get put away by the curves that you're making. I think this sounds right. Just no sub in there because you wouldn't want to have a sub in there. And it's just cutting away what we don't need. Same thing with the square version. It's just going to be low cutting. And just boosting that a little bit to make it sound bright and even. Yeah, I think that works. So this basically is how I create my leads. Please like and subscribe and share this video with your producer friends so you can all get to learn more about creating hardstyle. And please be back next week because I will be back with more. Thank you for watching and have a great time.